Hey everybody, it's Kendelllenice. I am back. This is the Remix Coach. So I'm so excited about this show today. We're streaming live on YouTube and Facebook right now with the premiere episode of my new show. Yep, I got 50 million 11 shows right on here. This is like TV. You can watch anything you want to watch on here. You want to watch authors, you want to get some inspiration, you want to see some celebrities, you want to do some meditate, whatever it is, I have it for you here. So please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. I'm growing my page and I need your help. All right, this is a premiere episode of Book It. This is a place where authors are able to share their books and their journeys. And this is for the literary community because I'm going to have not only authors on this show, but I'm going to have editors. I'm going to have maybe ghostwriters. I'm going to have graphic designers, whoever participates in bringing a book to life. I think it's so important, especially for the Black community. Y'all know my channel is all about changing the narrative with Black folks. So you're going to see a lot of beautiful Black authors on here, maybe 95% of the time. And then you're going to see everyone else who helps put these books together. The publishers, the publishing houses. Yep, Black-owned publishers and publishing housing. All right. So without further ado, let me introduce my guest who is right over there looking lovely. This is Rolanda. Yes, this is Rolanda St Felix. She's a writer, a poet, an author from Bronx, New York. BX. I couldn't do it. I had this in my hand. She loves inspiring others to love themselves. Her recent accomplishment is her poetry book entitled Purposeful Growth. She is an amazing human being, and I'm so excited to have her on here. She's been on my podcast, Shine with Kendelllenice, and we didn't talk about her book per se, but her ad ran in that book. We had a great conversation. So do yourself a favor and check that out wherever you get your podcast. Welcome, Rolanda, to Book It. You are the first guest on Book It.
Yay! Congratulations on Book It. Thank you for having me.
It is my pleasure. And thank you so much for wanting to come on here and do this, because I know you're a new author and you want to get your book out there. So I'm going to do whatever I can to help you get your book to the masses. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your efforts.
Absolutely. All right. So the logical question in the beginning is, have you ever seen yourself as an author before you were an author? And what made you decide to write this book, Purposeful Growth?
Well, I definitely did see myself as a continued writer, but I didn't necessarily see myself as an author quite yet. I knew that I wanted to publish my journal that had the list of the poems that I had in it. I knew for a fact that I wanted to publish it, but I said it for so many years. It wasn't 100%, factor of mine. Mm-hmm. What was the second question?
No, I was asking you what made you want to write this book, and did you see yourself as an author always? So you answered that. So poetry, what made you want to do poetry? I know you said you had poetry around, but I think that that's pretty awesome, because when people start saying, okay, I'm gonna write a book, and they have the urge to write a book, a lot of times it's the memoir or in a different way with a poetry book. And we have authors and poets like Nikki Giovanni, Sonia Sanchez, and Maya Angelou. And you were right there with them with your poetry book. So why did you choose that genre? Have you always written poetry?
Yes, I've always written poetry since middle school, to be honest, since 6th, 7th grade. I used it as an outlet to express myself, because sometimes I had a hard time. I was always outspoken, but when it came to certain things that I agreed with, or some things that I disagreed with, or hardships that I had, I always struggled with expressing myself. So when I wrote poetry as an outlet to help me get everything that I've ever thought and felt off my chest, in a positive way. So poetry really let it really let me be able to have my own time, like to myself, like
Hmm.
writing and
Hmm.
expressing myself. And in a way, I feel like poetry kind of like saved my life in a way, because I feel like if I didn't have that outlet to write, who knows what other outlet I would have, embarked on instead. So yeah, the poetry is definitely near and dear to me.
Wow. And I love poetry too. I write poetry, so I can relate to that.
Yeah,
When you're writing, and as a writer and author, it's you can share. I've always written, so I get that. You share something that you might not be able to verbally express.
right,
And writing helped save your life because you took everything that was in here and put it on the pages. With
correct.
this book, was your intention to inspire people that may be going through the same thing you were going through, or feeling that what you were feeling? Because it's purposeful growth. So was that the idea? Hey, if this can help me, it can help someone else as well.
Yes, correct. You've got it. You've got it spot on. Actually, you definitely got it spot on. Yeah, when I first came up with the title, I kind of went back and forth with myself on what I wanted the title to be, and
Hmm.
how I wanted the cover to look. So purposeful growth came about because the book, I started writing in middle school. So it was everything from middle school up until adulthood. So when I think of growth, and I think of, like, automatically I think of butterflies. So before a butterfly is an actual butterfly, it's a cocoon. When I was in my middle school, childhood, stages, I was still a cocoon. I was shy. I talked, but it wasn't. I didn't always say how I, felt all the time, what's on my mind. Like, I struggled. I had like self-esteem issues and dealing with different people in my life and things of that sort. So it was like I grew from the cocoon into the butterfly, and now that the butterfly came into be, turning into an adult. So I know for a fact that all of that growth and all the trials and tribulations and everything that came about with it was definitely purposeful. So that's where purposeful growth came about.
Wow. So it was almost like you were journaling.
Yeah, pretty
You were
much.
journaling your thoughts and your feelings, but you knew that it was going to be a book. You said you knew you were going to be an author. But from
Right.
middle school to now, like, you saved all that. And I still, did you write it down or did you type it? Because I think I know the answer. Did you put how'd you
I
write it?
wrote it. I wrote it in a journal, because when I went to middle school near my house, I went to Bronx Writing Academy, and we one of my poems entitled
You said
"Babies."
Writing Academy? You said Writing
Yes,
Academy.
yes,
Wow.
Bronx
Okay, so
Writing
you
Academy.
paying for this. Come on now. Let's not skate over that.
Yes, Bronx Writing Academy. It's actually right up the hill from my house.
Hmm.
Um, right. So one of the we had did a competition with a different school, and the whoever won the competition of the best poem, they were going to win the Scholastic Award.
Hmm.
So the first poem in my book is entitled Babies. So Babies was the winner of the Scholastic Award.
So you are award-winning writer.
Yes, pretty
I
much.
just
Yes.
want you to focus on that
Yeah.
and just pause right there, because I don't think you understand how big that is. You went
Yeah.
to a writing academy and you are award-winning writer. That needs
Yeah.
to be, oh, here
Pretty
come
much.
the life coach in me. That needs to be in your bio. That needs to be on the cover, on the back cover of your books. That needs to be on your website when you get everything up and running. That needs to be there.
You absolutely right. I never even, like, I always tell the story, but it never clicks in my head that like Ro, you really won
And
an
Scholastic,
award. Like
right? And Scholastic
right.
is known all over this world.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's where I was going with it. As a reward, my English teacher at that time, she gave us this journal, and the journal was purple and like blue, I believe, like circles on it, and it was a regular little small little spiral journal, and that's where I wrote all of the poetry at in rather.
Wow.
So it
Wow.
all when you think back now, it's funny because when you think back now, when you think about all like the different pieces that went into what's going on like now today, it all coincides with each other when you really like sit and think about it. It all goes together, really. Yeah, it's a
Watch this.
it's a
Watch
beautiful thing.
watch the live video before this one. That's confirmation. I said the same exact thing that you said. Everything that you experience, everything you go through, you learn, and you be like, okay, so this was the moment. This prepared me, and you didn't even know that this book you knew you would write, but you didn't even know that it would be this. So,
Mm-hmm.
with purposeful
Exactly.
growth, what kind of feedback have you been getting back?
So far, I've actually been getting great feedback. One of my old what grade did she teach? One of my teachers from my high school, actually, she left a review on Amazon on the website, and she basically broke down. Excuse me. She broke down how I wanted people to perceive the book from the beginning. She got it spot on. So she wrote that the book is basically something that I put my heart and soul like into, and also it breaks down the trials and tribulations that I had went through, but not only myself, the others has went through as well, and it is real poetry. Like that's really all I can say. She broke down that it's real poetry and that anyone can be inspired, by it, and that when some of the poems, when you do read it, you can also look back on your own life and say, oh, I agree with this, or I disagree with this, or this happened to me
Hmm.
in my life as well. So she really got the gist of where I was of my reasoning behind it. Because I want, like, when people do read it, I want them to also, laugh. They may cry, they may feel all these different emotions, but I always want them to go back and basically what they to get out of it is that you're not the only person going through this, and that greater is on the other side of whatever you may be going through, and also to always love yourself, and loving yourself does take time. It does take
Yeah.
time, but it's definitely um worth it. And I feel like whoever, for the ones that don't know me personally, I feel like once you read a few of the poems out of the book, you will be you'll be able to basically kind of sort of see how I became a butterfly after the whole cocoon stage. You'll understand me better, kind of sort of as a person.
Yeah. I want, and that's good stuff because everybody needs inspiration. And where you come from, right? Uh,
Hmm.
did you ever meet any authors outside of the school, maybe that you've gone in? Because I want to know where that dream was deposited into you. Because sometimes when you come from humble beginnings, people don't see anybody that they aspire to be, right? But you had that dream, and you said early on you knew that you were going to be a writer. So, who deposited that before you even went to school, before you won the award? Who inspired you and deposited that you could be what you want to be? If you want to be an author, you can be an author. Because I think somebody, maybe in the hood, maybe in an urban area, maybe in a place where there's a population of 500 people, where there's no stoplight, or that
Hmm.
it's shooting going on, or whatever it is. How do you inspire that person, and who deposited that in you? Two part.
So right, okay. So before school and like everyday life with like friends and family and aunts and parents and things like that. My one of my inspirations are is the late poet Maya Angelou. So yes, I read like all her like books, and then for birthdays, and when I graduated college, actually I received one of her books as a present. It was a birthday present, and then it was a magazine with her picture on it. My uncle gave me that. I have like this purse that my aunt gifted me with her face on it, and like there's a signature of her on the bottom. And so
Mhm.
besides her, it was mostly like, honestly, it was mostly like family and like teachers that really poured into me, and they told me like even after I won the award, I was all like I didn't really see the impact until like now. But then you're like 12, 13, 14. You're like, oh, I won an award, yay, give me a present, So they
Right.
gave us this notebook, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then when my teacher signed it, she specifically said, fill this book with all the hearts, all the heart's desires after
Mm,
before she signed it. And I was
mm.
like, that makes sense. I should, write some poetry in here. Not thinking that it would, expand into like all of this, but it's definitely, when you think about it full circle, it's definitely a great feeling. But I feel like a lot of people were inspiring, but I feel like sometimes when people think of like growing up in the Bronx, I feel like when people automatically think of inspiring people, sometimes it's singers, sometimes it's rappers, sometimes it's the
Mhm,
basketball players, but it can really be the smallest person. It can really be just someone that walk past you. It can be someone that
mhm.
leaves a comment, that leaves a comment on something that you wrote or you said. It could be somebody that complimented you, that day. It's like it's any small thing or person can be an inspiration to you. You just have to really look and really pay attention, and you'll really see that. But I
Yes.
hope to be that to other people.
You definitely will. And shout out to all the teachers as we approach Teachers Appreciation. I think it's week. I'm an educator in elementary school, and my daughter is a teacher in another elementary school. And
Hmm.
teachers have a strong impact on children. My fifth grade teacher, Miss Flora Parker, every time I could shout her out, I do. She made such an impact on me in so many different ways, even something as simple as you look beautiful in red. Every time I wear red, I think about her. Like you said, it could
Hmm.
be the smallest thing. But I love the fact that Dr. Maya Angelou inspired you, and you didn't even know her. She didn't even know it. But that's what's
Right.
so important for us to read and get books and understanding, but it
Hmm.
seems like your whole family was on board with what you loved. And that was Maya Angelou, that was poetry, and that was book.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of
Mhm.
have you ever had the conversation with your family? And how proud of are you of you are they uh,
Right.
since you've written this book?
They definitely have been very proud. And I told them like that, you guys inspired me as well, because my mom is a teacher too. She teaches special needs children. So she's a teacher. My aunt is a
Kudos
teacher,
to her.
and my aunt is a teacher in Florida. So it's like I have a bunch of nieces and nephews. So it's like family, children. They come like quite easily to me. So when I told them, thank you. I told them for being patient, and for helping me along the way. And they were definitely proud. One of my aunts, they live in Jersey, and they have like this organization called
Mm-hmm.
Never Alone organization, Never Alone Again organization, something like that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
for people that's been hurt in the past, domestic violence. So I went there a couple years ago, and I talked to them, and I read some of my poems, and that was like a great outbreak, for me to meet new people and network and whatnot. And my aunt
Breakout. Don't say
invited
outbreak.
me too.
Breakout.
Huh?
It was a good breakout. Don't say outbreak.
Oh, right, breakout. Sorry. Right.
Outbreak.
Let me not stir up anything else. Right. Still wear your mask. Right. But yes, it was definitely a great moment. And she invited me to it, and I was happy. And my other aunt, Paula, she invites me to events. She, she buys her books for me, for her co-workers, her coalition friends and stuff. We went to restaurants together. I sell my books there. Like any real moment, opportunity, they know that I would be a great asset to. They definitely include me, and friends as well. So I'm really really grateful To be
I love that.
to be honest, like open mics and stuff, they always tag me, call me, email me, text me, and
And
things
you
like
in the
that about
Bronx,
new opportunities.
and you in the Bronx, and you in New York. Like there's so much culture. There's so much,
Going
richness
on.
when it comes to being a writer and being an author. You have so many historical places for writers, and a lot of
Mm-hmm.
writers who have made it, and we know who they are. They hailed
Mm-hmm.
from New York in
Mm-hmm.
multiple boroughs.
Yep.
So you're right there. So I'm sure it's an open mind. I'm sure it's something for you to get into as a writer and to grow. But I love the fact that your people
Yes.
are, riding for you and helping you do this thing. I'm going to
Yep.
ask
Definitely.
one sentence, your elevator speech. Why should someone purchase your book?
Someone should purchase my book because it's a memorable, heartfelt. I put my heart and soul and tears into this book, and they will definitely come back brand new after reading it. They'll be brand new. They will learn that they will learn a lot, and they'll be able to tell others what they learned and how they was inspired by my reading, my
Now,
writing. Sorry.
and for those that don't know, I coach authors and I have writers workshops and I teach people how to publish their book. So I'm about to put that teacher hat on. So I'm going to ask you again. The elevator is closing. That person is getting off on the next floor. You don't have time to say all of that. Elevator
Okay.
closes. Before that elevator
Okay.
closes, tell that person about your book, why they should buy your book. What would you tell that person before they get off that elevator and you'll never see them again and you miss someone that you could have inspired with your book and you missed that sale?
Okay. So starting now.
Yep.
Okay. You should definitely purchase my book because my book it's amazing. I'm like, I can't even tell you any more words. It's very much amazing. It's from my heart and soul, and you will never, ever, ever regret it.
The elevator closed, Rolanda.
It closed already?
Closed. There, you got one floor.
Yes.
I got a book, Purposeful Growth, available on Amazon.com.
That's all I'm but they gonna ask why.
You gotta think about the elevator's closing. You can say a little more, but you want to get that out. I have a book that'll change your life, Purposeful Growth. It's on Amazon.com.
Right. So pretty much.
Right. I want you to practice that because sometimes you only have a moment. Because people, like, if you're saying all of that, which is all amazing, but if you're saying all of that, they're walking already. So you got to get somebody to stop them. I can change your life with poetry. Purposeful Growth is available on Amazon.com.
Quick, fast, and out the door.
Yep.
Right.
And
you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Huh?
I said thank you for that.
You're welcome. Because then once you get a chance, if you're sitting to talk to someone like on here, like then you could say all of that stuff that's totally true about your book. But if you have a quick moment, so you got to have like two versions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Long version and short version.
Right. Exactly. All right. So as we come to an end, everyone's saying congratulations. Awesome. Congratulations on your book. Hey, Cheryl. She went to high school. We went to high school.
Thank you.
Back in the 40s. No, I'm just joking.
You're only 21.
I know, right? All right. So one last question, one last thing, and then we're going to go into where they can purchase your book. A young girl hails from the Bronx. She wants to write a book. She has no support like you had. You're her support. You're the person she's going to see. What do you say to her or him?
I tell him or her, just do it. Grab a notebook, grab loose leaf, grab sticky notes, grab a pencil, a pen, a marker, crayon, whatever you have, and put it to work and just write. Don't even worry about the grammar quite yet. Just let it spill. Like just let it fall onto the paper. Like just write. and just don't hold back. Just write. Don't think about what anybody else is gonna say. Don't think about the critique just yet. Don't think about the judging. Don't think about anything. Just think about you, that pen and pencil, and that paper, and just let it all out. Whoever don't like it, that's their business. Whatever genre you choose to write in, it's not for everybody. Some audience might not like it. Some audience will like it. If they do like it, great. If they don't, then that's not for them. That's it. But yeah, definitely do it. Because if not, you're
Absolutely.
gonna regret it later on. You didn't put that, your best foot forward.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that because some people don't have the love and support. Some people didn't go to a writer's school or win a scholastic writing award or have their family, encouraging them. So you might be the person from the Bronx that they see and say, if Rolanda St Felix did it, I could do it too.
Yep, and they definitely can. The Bronx has a bunch of great creative individuals. Whether it's like writing, rapping, dancing, it's a bunch of them. It's like hidden gems.
Absolutely. All right. Finally, tell the people where to buy your book. Talk about the and also to talk about the cover. Why you decided that cover, where they should buy your book, and the name of your book.
Okay, so the name of my book is Purposeful Growth. I chose this cover because purple is my favorite color, and the title I told you guys before that Purposeful Growth is the is my growth from when I was younger up into adulthood. The butterflies represents the growth as adulthood when I went from a cocoon to a wonderful butterfly. It's on Amazon and Barnes and Noble online. That's where you can get it. My picture is in the back as well.
How much is it?
On Amazon, it's I believe $14.95. Yes, $14.95. If you want to sign, personalize my signature with nice little words in it, you can send me an email at rstfelix@gmail.com. You can contact me on Instagram _poems and poems_POEMSANDPOISE. That's on Instagram, Facebook, Diamond St. Felix on Facebook. And my email is rstfelix@gmail.com. You can send me email and we could talk about me mailing you a autographed copy.
Yay! I'm so excited to
Thank
have you
you.
as my first guest on Book It. And because I
Thank you
want to
so much.
highlight, you're welcome. I want to highlight authors. It's important for me to do that. I was a writer before I was anything. Like I've been
Right.
writing since I was a child, so I respect the pen game. I respect writers, and I have a special place in my heart for writers. And then for you to take that same skill and love and turn it into a book, I am here for it. And if I can do my little small part to help you sell one or two or three or 10 books, then I'm going to do that because I believe you,
Thank you so
because you
much.
first believed in yourself. Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you
Is
so
there
much,
anything
Kendall.
that,
For say it
go
again.
ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying thank you so much for all of your platforms. I've been on every single platform, guys. I've been on all of the platforms, and I thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And finally, I'll give you the final word. Anything that you want to say to encourage someone as we sign off.
Before we go, what I do want to say to encourage everyone is don't ever give up. Honestly, don't ever give up. Even if you have a bad you feel like it's a bad poem, you feel like it's a bad, rap, a bad dance, keep going. You can edit that out later. Keep pushing and keep going, and don't let anybody deter you from what you were placed on this earth to do, and don't give up. It's definitely not going to be easy. It's definitely not going to be a walk in the park. I feel like any beautiful thing that comes is definitely going to come with some trials and tribulations, but you definitely cannot give up. You cannot give up. As long as you have that dream, that thought, that is in your heart, you really cannot give up, no matter how you may feel.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. Yeah, you can't dwell on feelings or like moods, because if that's the
Mhm.
case, if I went with, I'm learning that as well, because when my mood changes, sometimes I'm like, I don't feel like writing, I don't feel like talking about this, I don't feel like posting on social media, I don't feel like responding to that email, I don't feel like you can't really go by your mood, because if you go by your mood, you ain't gonna get nothing done like at all. You have to just
Mhm.
go by the reason behind why you chose to do what you're basically doing. You can't forget the reason why. Like when you first started, you can't forget that no matter how far or how much better you may get at the craft, you can't
Yeah.
forget why you started the craft in the first place.
There you go. And here we have it. This is the first episode of Book It. This is author Rolanda St Felix. I'm going to end by saying this. If it's here and here, put it on paper and turn it into a book. I'm Kendelllenice, Remix Coach. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow Rolanda. Make sure you go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble, purchase her book, Purposeful Growth. Until next time, next week, I have another amazing author for you. Until next time, look at that book. God bless you all. Peace. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody who watched live and playback. God bless you.